On July 4th, it's going to be approximately 107 degrees out. And I'm going to go and I'm going to make a really long speech just to show that I can do anything. It's going to be 107.
That was President Trump previewing, maybe warning about this weekend's 4th of July rally that is set for the National Mall. It's an event that he has publicly promised will be the most unforgettable birthday party ever seen. Privately, sources tell CNN that inside the White House, there is some anxiety about this event that it could end up being a dud. There's tightened security measures for the mall. There's triple-digit heat that it's expected, as the president mentioned. And also, the schedule is set to run extremely late into Saturday night. Some officials are worried about repeating that lackluster showing at President Trump's rally last week, where he kicked off what he is describing as the Great American State Fair on the National Mall. Of course, for a president who is often fixated on crowd sizes, he was frustrated by the low turnout last week. My political sources are here tonight, including senior advisor to Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign, Karen Finney, and former Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger. Congressman, obviously, looking at the celebrations for America's 250 and what was expected and what has happened, I think there are questions about what Saturday is going to look like in Washington. What's your expectation?
Yeah, I mean, one big point that was not there in the lead up is that this initially, America 250 was a bipartisan organization that I voted for in 2016 to form, and every other Republican and Democrat did. That was a nonpartisan organization meant to celebrate the 250th birthday. When Trump took over, he created Freedom 250, and a competing organization where donors aren't disclosed. There's many corporate donors that are trying to get into favor with the president, and he has clearly made this all about him. And when you make it all about you and you have about a 30% approval rating in the country, it's not going to surprise anybody when no one shows up to your celebration. And it's sad, Caitlin, because I was born in 78, and I remember seeing all the quarters from 1976, the bicentennial, and thinking like how cool it's going to be on the 250th anniversary. And here we are. It's a celebration of Trump now.
Karen, I mean, the president and his allies have taken over the event and the planning of them. When it comes to crowd expectation, though, I mean, we're told that the aerial image of the crowds from his rally last week enraged him so much that officials ended up deleting them. What do you make of how he's responding to this so far?
Well, it's pretty typical, and yet in all the ways. And frankly, this is a metaphor for so much of what has happened with his presidency and with this country. I mean, think about this. The amount of money raised and spent on this event. Think about what you could do. I think about the reports that came out about kids who are being kicked off of SNAP, people who are seeing their healthcare benefits, being their costs going up and their benefits being reduced. And yet we're hearing this president has made billions of dollars in his own pocket. And now this performative event on the mall that's supposed to be all about him. And what is it? There's coins with his face on it and all kinds of things with his face on it. Of course, people don't want to go, and certainly not in 103-degree weather. I think it's pretty safe to say that there will be plenty more people, lots of other places than there will be on the mall. I think more people are trying to actually get out of Washington this weekend than are actually coming to Washington this weekend.
I mean, part of this is just the heat, period. I mean, regardless of what's going on, the weather team here at CNN says that the forecast, 102 degrees on Saturday, is expected to be the hottest July 4th ever recorded. I mean, there's a list of what people can't even bring because of the tightened security measures: reusable water bottles, sunscreen, bug spray, camping chairs, coolers, umbrellas. I mean, if you're a family and you're going out to watch fireworks that aren't expected to start until after the president has spoken, it might make it tough to hang out for hours on end, Adam.
Yeah, and I think, look, maybe God's sending a message. I don't know. I can't speak for God, but yeah, I mean, look, I think that's clear. And again, nobody would care. I don't remember any time in the past people talking about the turnout for the July 4th fireworks on the Capitol, except that Donald Trump himself has made this a referendum on him. It's always about crowd size. He said, you know, after all the people canceled, that this will be a celebration. I think he recently even said that the greatest president, your favorite president is going to speak at this. So he himself inserts himself into this. And so the turnout, even if it's weather related, I mean, at that point, he basically has taken ownership of the turnout. But again, just the sad thing here is we're in the 250th anniversary of this country, and it's been driven by division. And I'm sure each side will blame the other side. But clearly, Donald Trump has pulled away from this idea of America 250, and Freedom 250 is his organization. It's all about him. And he has a 30% approval rating. So that's what's going to happen.
Can I just mention one thing about the heat? You know, I was part of a march about voting rights in Montgomery, Alabama. And let me tell you what, it felt like it was 100 degrees. We had 5,000 people come out in the heat to make their voices heard for voting rights. So it's, you know, yes, it's hot, but people will come out in the heat for something that they care about and something that they believe in. And I think, you know, the congressman is exactly right. I imagine when you voted for America 250, you thought it was going to be a celebration of this country and the progress that we've made. And sure, we've got more work to do, but all of the things that make this country great, instead of aggrandizing one man, you know, and celebrating him when the power's not even, apparently the power went out today. And it was so hot that, you know, some of the displays were melting. I mean, that's what I mean by it's a metaphor. You know, it was poorly planned and poorly executed and costs a lot more money than they probably expected.
If you look at Martin Luther King, when he did his speech, his great speech, and you look at ours, same real estate, same everything, we actually had more people. I love Butler, Pennsylvania, but it was amazing, and we had a tremendous crowd, like 55, 60,000 people. This is a big crowd, Paul. Don't get nervous. Nobody's ever gotten crowds like I get at a rally. I had 118,000 people at one. I have 25,000. 25,000 is like a small crowd.
Look, this is, you know, it's a big birthday for the president or for the country.
Yeah, you said it right the first time.
There you go. But that's it. There's a reason. There's a slip there, right?
L'état-c'est-moi.
And I mean, I don't recall any other. I remember earlier this week we were talking about Gerald Ford and the way he handled the latest or the bicentennial quite differently than it's usually handled.
I mean, imagine how cool it would be if Donald Trump had invited all the living presidents to come and do something, or said he was going to play video greetings from all the living presidents as he spoke. That would be a different thing, right? But it's not, because it is about him. It is about his birthday, right? This is just a continuation of a celebration of him. And the timing couldn't be worse, given the heat. You know, Jonah said fireworks starting at 11 p.m. We hope.
Right.
It's after he speaks.
Right.
He doesn't
If he
really
finishes on
stick
time.
to script.
Yeah.
So I think it is such a missed opportunity for the President of the United States to actually have at least one huge unifying night in America, but that's never been his
Do you know
jam.
what? Do you know what though? I mean, I'm going to be a little contrarian and just say, America 250. This where we at. I mean, this is precisely where we're at. We're a divided country with a president who wants to go on television and, you know, not say the truth about his crowd sizes and basically exclude a whole bunch of people.
But,
so, you know, this is the reality of where we're at.
But there's another place we're at, and I think it's worth pointing out. You look at the reaction to the World Cup celebration, where it's I think one of the reasons a lot of Americans love the European reaction to how much they like America is because it's not about our politics. It's about stuff close to the ground. It's like, oh yeah, we actually
Ranch
are.
dressing. Ranch dressing.
Ranch dressing and Buc-ee's. I mean, we're actually a pretty cool country.
And the celebration of America 250 is happening all over the country.
Sure.
Right? The number of community events that have popped up that are being built out that are going to be robust, like that's going to be lovely.
I want to say the World Cup is indeed the celebration of our country.
Hey, go USA.
Go USA, playing tonight.